Okay, so we are back spilling the tea on everything Delphi, but it's your tea that's spilling today. Well, hello, my silky friends. I got away for a few days. I am ready to tackle your spicy comments. You know, when I look back at the comments trying to find some spicy ones to read for you all, I noticed when I get a lot of hate. And I get a lot of hate, I think, when we're getting close to the truth. Yeah. So you gotta just give yourselves away. But that's just my opinion. All right, let's get into some spicy tea. And y'all, I appreciate it so much because I learned so much from you. I mean, I can do a lot of research, but especially those of you who have been, really studying this case in depth for the last 6 years, or who live in the area or know somebody in the area, like, you can just give me insight that I don't, can't find just anywhere. So keep those comments coming. Okay, this one comes by one of my faves, Misbehaved. She says, the thing most curious about the judge releasing the phone rights to Becky is that the phone is evidence. Becky getting access to, she could go on, delete or whatever with it by signing into it via web. How would that hold up in court when so many were able to access it? It is crazy to me. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, that's been another thing. I don't understand Kelsey going in that night, into, she said she could access Libby's accounts. Why did they allow that to happen? Because she could go and delete anything. Not saying that she did. I mean, I have no proof that she did, or even, any reason to believe she did. However, it doesn't seem like it's a, secure investigation when you're just letting the family or, whomever access the accounts. Because supposedly somebody else had, access to Libby's accounts. So this is a bunch of sketchy stuff to me. All right, this next one comes from Unmasked Truth. And she is actually responding to another commenter, a Miss Jackson. And she says, she's very much on point. If anyone needs another rabbit hole to explore, look into Tobe's relative, Daniel J., out of neighboring Cass County / Logansport. He's a RSO, and he looks very similar to Tobe. He was charged with living near a school violation in May of 2017, and the case file was destroyed. The case file was destroyed in March of 2019? What's up with that? This is public information on my case. In 2019, we got the new sketch / new direction, but I'm sure that's just still another coincidence. Yeah, those coincidences just keep adding up in Delphi, don't they? And another one of you told me that actually Tobe's brother, it was a, let's just say, offense against children. So that's why he couldn't live next to a school. And if they look alike, I'm not saying it was, but, what if he was in the general vicinity? People mistook him for Tobe, whatever. This is your tea. Okay, I'm going to apologize because I am probably going to, just destroy your last name. But this one comes from Carolyn Potgeider? I don't know. I'm sorry. Isn't it amazing how the more the ordinary general public, including YouTube creators, question what's going on, the more we all realize the amount of BS in this case is piling up so high. The family, Ellie, the FBI, everyone who has told a story about this case are just not credible. There are too many coincidences, stories that don't line up, pictures that are not believable. What is going on? Is anyone telling the truth? It doesn't seem so. Yeah, I agree. And that is the sole reason that I keep talking about Delphi. There are so many cases I want to cover, Summer Wells and Stephen Smith and a ton of other ones. And I will. I will. But I only have so much time. You know, I work like 50 hours a week. So this is just done when I can do it. But yeah, that is the whole reason to bring it up, because the more people that are talking, especially outside people, because when you live in a situation and you know people, I don't think you see as clearly. I know I wouldn't. But when an outsider comes in and they're just looking at evidence and coincidences and stuff, yeah, it becomes painfully obvious to us that there is a big old pile of horse poo going on in Carroll County. All right, this is a new one. Samantha says that there was an interview and she thinks it's Anna Williams that is saying this. I do not have that interview. I haven't been able to find it. Lord, if somebody can find it for me, please send me a link. You can email me at silkyandSouthern@gmail.com, or you can go to my Facebook page, Silky Southern Tea, and if you want to private message me on Messenger, that's fine. If you don't want to be involved in being the one who gives me this link, I'm still looking for it. But she is talking about Mike Patty being involved in a club. And she says Brotherhood of Odin would be the club I had heard. It was mentioned in an interview that Abby didn't have a phone. She supposedly only had a tablet. And so I did, like, just this morning, I had a few, literally just like 5 minutes, and I started Googling Brotherhood of Odin. I don't know. But it is definitely worth looking into. It's a little unnerving. Okay, I had to add this one just because it is so funny. Fur Baby Daddy says, all this case needs is the Blair Witch. I laughed so hard at that. You know, I can kind of see it out there in the woods. You know, why don't they? Yeah, it's just, you're right. It's because it's ridiculous. That's why. All this stuff is just crazy. Here is another one by Carol Stanhope, and she says, you can throw a rock in Delphi. We're talking about the man on the bridge. Anyway, bridge guy. You can throw a rock in Delphi and hit an obese, bearded redneck. These sketches depict half the population. Hey, in Alabama too, Carol. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's so indistinct. And, you know, we've talked about the different channels that have exposed so many of the inconsistencies, let's just say, with the photographs. So if you haven't seen those, you can go watch I've Apophis, True Crime Design, Misbehaved, Julia. You'll see a ton of very questionable stuff about those official photographs. Robin Calburn says, I remember some sheds being burnt to the ground right afterwards. I have heard that, well, I've seen that on several different channels and whatever, that the barn that was actually closest to the Monon High Bridge and that property was taken down. It was a good bit of time afterwards. So, you know, many of you have speculated, as have I, were the girls taken to a barn when they went down the hill or, you know, across the bridge, whatever? Were they taken somewhere else? You know, I'm just going to say this. Location-wise, it is a distinct possibility because, as you saw with Steve's video, if you haven't seen that video, my goodness, go watch it because he does the best job I have ever seen on someone really showing you the distance. And that's what these comments come from, that video. Mama Bruce says, my neighbor lives further away than those houses were from the crime scene, and I know they can hear my boys roughhousing outside. Also, my 5-year-old explores woods thicker and more treacherous than that with me and has no problem getting around the area. With that said, it blows my mind that grown folk called off the search for their safety when it was believed that 2 little girls were lost and possibly hurt in those woods. R.I.P. Abby and Libby. Yeah, I mean, even as a small child, I was very rural in Alabama, and, I used to walk up the mountain. I mean, literally. And I know maybe they would be treacherous for some people, but she's right about the sounds carrying. And if you are an outdoorsman or a camper or, something, and I love the outdoors. So, when you camp in a remote site, if there's someone on down the way, you might not understand the actual words they're saying, but you can hear voices for a long way away. Looking at Steve's video, you'll see it wasn't far. So if the girls had yelled for help and anyone was in the vicinity, they would have heard something. That is just my opinion. Also based on my knowledge of the woods and how voices carry, and especially over water. It's a good conduit, water, and y'all outdoor people know that. You can hear somebody clear as day across the lake or across the water unless it's making a lot of noise. And let's go to Steve right now. Ron Logan's property is small. It is a small valley, bowl-shaped, with an 80-foot hill surrounding the area where the girls were found. If you were anywhere on RL's property, you would have seen the girls. This could only mean that RL knew more than he let on. I agree. When I saw that video, not just his property, but some of the other ones, like, how could you not? How could you not hear or see something if they were found on your property? Now, this is a big conspiracy theory, and I couldn't say whether it's true or not. However, let me just say, a lot of conspiracy theories have, proved to be true over time. I have heard several people speculate that Ron Logan, did not actually die of COVID, that he's in the witness protection program. That is a speculation. I don't know. I would say certainly I cannot believe that he did not know something, hear something, see something. He was very sketchy too. Could he have been involved? Absolutely. That would not have been a stretch based on a lot of things, his history and, the alibi, the fake alibi and all that is very, very sketchy. Very shady. So, was he involved or is he a witness? I don't know. Very interesting, though. Yeah, Sachi's around here just scratching. She goes wild when I take a video. I don't know. It's like she knows this is the time to misbehave. This one is also, these next two are also by Carol Stanhope. She says, also read the article, Who Are the Royal Order of the Jesters? It's about the police-driven trafficking ring that was involved in my exploitation and how they were finally busted in 2006. My father was a Freemason and he was involved in my trafficking via the Royal Order of the Jesters. Their headquarters are located in Indianapolis. The article is called Who Are the Royal Jesters? And it details an FBI sting. I really want to make a whole video on that. First, Carol, I am so very sorry. There are no words. Wow. To even explain what I feel about that for you. It is horrific, and I am very familiar with victims of such, we'll just call it such things, okay? And by the way, I would love to interview you on that. I don't know if you feel like talking about it. If you don't, that's fine. But I just think everything should be blown wide open and, people become aware of what's going on around them. Okay, that is our tea for today. Keep those comments coming. I know when I do a video that has hit too close to home for some people because I get a lot of hate comments, a lot of disparaging, calling me all kind of names. And I have to assume it's because you're scared. Is someone getting too close to the truth? Are you afraid you're going to be uncovered? You're really just outing yourself, okay? So yeah, whatever. But what we potsters are doing on YouTube is keeping this in the public eye. I hate it for you if it disturbs your little world. But these innocent girls, Abby, Libby, and all of the Flora victims, they all deserve justice. Not you. Alright, I've had it for today. I said the word Flora and automatically I'm just getting upset. I hope you have a great week. I'm going to be talking about some other cases. I am not stopping with Flora. We're just scratching the surface. Yeah. So I will see you next time. In the meantime, for heaven's sake, stay silky.